And so this is a single line command. If you want to do something similar, you can also do other things. Yeah, you can also put this in a block. You can say frame foreign and just build a frame block, right? So you can just build a frame from, you can say for each x of var list underscore for all summarize. So what we want to do is we want to go in the frame foreign, and in this frame we want to loop over each variable and just summarize it, right? And this is what we get. So we can now block, use either we use single line commands to return something, or we can use blocks to single frame of addition, and we can say frame block addition. So we can either use single line commands to return something or execute something, or we can use a frame block and return, do a bunch of things. So it could be in this frame, run these regressions, right? And so think about it this way. If you have a very large data set that you're partitioning by different variables, so it could be hospitals or districts or schools or if conditions, you can pass on each into a specific frames and do a bunch of operations in a loop, right? The alternative would have been in the old workflow is to use preserve and restore. So you would say something like keep if this, do these operations, keep if that, do these operations. And that's something that is now sort of now redundant, because if you now use preserve and restore in Stata, so if you use preserve and restore in Stata, these two commands by default in newer versions are using frames. So if it's not like in the new versions of Stata, it's physically making a snapshot of your raw data set, dropping the variables. In new versions, Stata is actively creating a new temporary frame if you use preserve and restore and passing these operations. And it has led to a huge speed increase in certain operations, right? Okay, so this is sort of the core of the frame element. And there's quite a lot of stuff you can do. You can even say frames copy, frame copy core my frame, right? You can even copy or new code. Let's just go. So you can even copy your frames directly based on your use case scenario. So let's look at this. And so what we are now doing is now we're just creating a bunch of new frames that we want to use, right? We can also do things like frame create other data, right? So you maybe want to load another data, maybe either to temporarily look at some stuff or you want to do something else. And if I now do frames directory, you will see that we have now a new frame other data which is empty, and we can use, say something like frame other data sys use census, right? So we have now loaded a completely different data set in another frame without impacting everything else. And this is super useful. This is super useful if you're working with multiple data sets, or let's say a common example is that I'm merging two data sets on country codes, yeah, on ISO 3 codes. And these ISO 3 codes have all sorts of variations. So instead of loading one, checking what exists, instead of loading two, the second one checking, I can parallel process these by just homogenizing these two data sets at the same time, right? And this makes also life a lot more easier.